Welcome to the March 10th Camp Springs Virtual Community Meeting. Introducing our president, Ms. Monique Taylor.
I'm going to try to get, I just learned about that today. Are we starting?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, because I couldn't hear anything. Okay, my apologies, everyone. I want to welcome everyone to this meeting. March is Women's History Month. So you all thank women for all of the accomplishment that have been made for the month of March, but you need to thank women all year long. Now today, I would like for everyone to, we're going to introduce our new councilman. We have Councilman Ed Burrows on the Camp Springs Civic Association in our community. Want to congratulate him on his newly elected position as our councilman. He's our, he's a resident of Camp Springs, so we're very proud of him. So we're having him tonight. He's going to give you greetings, but he's going to come back in our May meeting and he's going to stay for a long time because this was short notice. So Councilman Burrows, you have the floor. Can you unmute Councilman Ed Burrows, please?
Yes, I just got unmuted. Thank you.
Okay.
Well, thank you so much, President Taylor, and to my neighbors, literally, in Camp Springs. I'm so happy to be here today. I want to thank you for all of your support. I see we have the Denny House on the line. Shout out to another Camp Springs entity that we have. But I look forward to working with you, very closely with you. This is my community. This is where I live. This is where my family lives. As most of you know, I graduated from Crossland High School, which is a staple in Camp Springs. And so I look forward to collaborating with you around not only community events, but also legislation. I'm working on a few pieces of legislation right now involving reducing property taxes for senior citizens, also requiring the county to recruit, hire, and train individuals to work when there's a county contract. As most of you know and have seen from the reporting, that we have major shortage of nurses at our hospital, and so working on some issues around that. And so I look forward to working with you, and as I extended to the president, we have a number of grant opportunities, and of course, we have to take care of home first. And so I look forward to collaborating with you all around that as well. And banging on the door is probably my little brother. So sorry about that. But yes.
But we thank you for coming out on short notice. And yes, I spoke with our councilman on Wednesday, had a nice chat with him. And of course, this is his home. And so of course, he wants to see Camp Springs flourish. So thank you for coming out on short notice. And we are so proud of you. So you have a good evening and we'll see you in May. Okay, thanks.
Thank you so much. I'll see you in May.
Okay, good night.
Good night.
So we're going to go out of a little order tonight. We have Mr. Wendell Williams, who is our homeless navigator. He has another engagement, so he has some update he wants to share with us. Mr. Williams, can you unmute yourself?
Unmute. Hey, everybody. Good evening. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, sir.
Hi, Ms. Taylor.
Hey, Mr. Williams.
It's good to be back. It's good to be back. First of all, I just want to tell you that I'm in Camp Springs every day. I make it a point. If I'm going south to Brandywine, I'm going to get off and ride through Camp Springs. If I'm cutting across county, I'm gonna come down Allentown Road or Temple Hills Road or one of those roads that will get me through Camp Spring. I make it a point to just ride through every day to take a look at what's going on. I am very happy to share with you guys that in my 2 years of doing this and being in this area, I've never seen it as empty of people on the corners and in front of the liquor stores as I have seen it in the last month. Now, we're not going to run the flag up the pole and salute yet and declare victory uh, because we don't know what the spring is going to bring. But, I've seen a significant downturn in the number of people on the street in my area of the county and specifically Camp Springs. We've got one diehard young lady who is still on that corner right there by the Dunkin' Donuts and the Census Bureau. And I want the community to understand that we've offered her, and I think Corporal Ebony can attest to that. We've offered her everything that we have at our disposal, and she's turned it down. So she's still out there, and she's a soldier, and we just continue to try to reach out to her. We continue to try to support her with food or whatever we do have, in hopes that one day she'll decide to maybe avail herself of the help that's available. So I'm really happy about what's going on. We still have that one particular gentleman in front of the liquor store right next to the 7-Eleven, right there between Old Branch, kind of catty corner across from Royal Farms. He's still there, but he's a special case. He's a late stage alcoholic that may have some mental disturbances. So that's going to be a long shot, but we're going to continue to reach out to him and continue to form a loving and caring relationship with him in hopes that he'll take some of the help that's being offered. A lot of the people that we did see in that corridor, Allentown Road corridor, are now in Clinton, and so it's just goes to show, sometimes we just move people around. So it's almost like one neighborhood's gain is at detriment of another area. So a lot of the people are now down off of Woodyard Road, and there's an encampment that has sprung up in that little commuter shopping center that's across the street from that big shopping center. I think it's a gas station and a Wendy's right there in a commuter parking lot. In the back of that community parking lot, there are several tents that have popped up, and several of those people used to be right by the Census Bureau and standing on that medium right there at Branch and Allentown. So for right now, things look really quiet on that area of Camp Springs. But again, we don't know what the spring is going to bring. The other good news I had is that the county is in the process of finalizing plans at the new hospital to open up a facility that will cater to people who have severe or having severe mental disturbances. So there will be a mental health crisis care opening up right there at the new hospital. I don't know what to call that area, but the Magic Johnson. I call it Capital Center Magic Johnson area, that new University of Maryland hospital. So that'll be opening soon. I had the pleasure of being on a meeting with the people who are going to be running and staffing that. And also the really, really good news for me, and it should be for people in the community, is that facility is also planning to have 16 detox beds. 16 detoxification beds, which is a county first. And I gotta tell you, I think that if we can get people off of alcohol and drugs, we could probably slash the homelessness that we see around the county in half. The visible homelessness, the kind where you see people out and about that are more visible. And I also want to remind people that that's only about 7 to 9% of the homeless are the ones that you see out and about, standing in the corridors and on the mediums The other 90% of our homeless in our community are desperately trying to pull it together and just as simply having setbacks and that they're learning to overcome. So I'm very excited about that facility coming online sometimes this summer. I still want to remind everybody to share with your neighbors, your friends, and your family members to consider some alternatives from giving people money on the street. I just recently talked to the franchisee of the McDonald's who told me about how you can go buy the gift cards. And so if you are concerned about people being hungry, that's one of the ways you could do it. You could buy a gift card for Royal Farms, McDonald's, or whatever, and give those out instead of giving cash. I think that's far more effective and makes more sense in the long term. So as long as we are able to understand the importance of not giving people money, I think we may be able to hold on to what seems to be a gain in terms of the number of people who are not in the normal places right now. Our officers are doing that I work with, the cops officers are doing a fantastic job. Just know that we're out there on a daily basis, engaging, having interventions with people who are homeless and on the street. We just were able to get a lady some help that had been on Livingston Road living in a tent for over 6 months. And she's now in Southern Maryland Hospital, along with a lady in another part of the county that had been living on the sidewalk for over a year. So once again, I want to remind everybody to be patient with us, be patient with the people who are suffering, because it does take a long time to move people toward getting some progress and dealing with some of their issues. And I just want to thank everybody in the community for giving me support. A lot of people have stepped up and given us support in the work that we're doing above and beyond what the county provides us, and that really makes it different. I want to give a shout out to the nursing home, and I don't want to divulge their location, but they are in Camp Springs, and every week they make up 100 bagged lunches for us to distribute to homeless people on the street. Now, since I didn't get their permission, I won't mention their name, but they're right there in Camp Springs, right in that area that we just was talking about. And these are senior citizens in a nursing facility who make these bag lunches twice a week, 50 on Monday, 50 on Thursday, so that we can go out and sort of give something extra to our outreach efforts when we approach people on the street. And also in those bags is including a note from the seniors who are doing the lunches to encourage them to continue to try to move forward. So that's what I have for tonight. That good news. Hopefully things will stay quiet, and we'll just continue to practice responsible giving until the spring comes. Thank you for having me, Ms. Taylor.
Thank you, Mr. Williams. We do appreciate all the work that you do in the community, you and our cops officer, to make to help out those who are less fortunate and to keep us abreast of what's going on. We're really appreciative of all the hard work that you put in for the community. Thank you so much. Did anyone have a quick question, because Mr. Williams has to leave? Does anyone have a quick question before he goes? Well, he'll be back at our next meeting, so you can ask some questions then. So good night, Mr. Williams. Be safe.
Good night, Ms. Taylor. And Ms. Taylor, you have my email address and you have my telephone number. If anyone wants it, you can get it from Ms. Taylor.
Okay.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you so much. So now we'll have our cops officers give their report. We have Corporal Ebony with us tonight. Hi, Corporal Ebony. Good to see you. She needs to be unmuted. How do we unmute Corporal Ebony? Hey, try, look, let me unmute you.
Hello, good evening, everyone. I basically, as you know, I'm filling in for Corporal Miller, but we all work together as the cops officers for Division 4. And like Mr. Williams says, that's mainly what we've been doing, working with him with the homeless outreach in the whole district. I basically came on just to see if anyone had any concerns, anything that you feel that we're missing that's going on in the neighborhood, because our main focus in Camp Springs neighborhood, well, the biggest complaints were the homeless people in that area on Allentown Road, Branch Avenue, Old Branch Avenue, and things like that. So I'm just, I'm open to any questions. But also one more thing I want to just make sure you all be aware of all the carjackings and stolen vehicles that's been occurring. I know you've been seeing the news in DC and with Prince George's County. Just make sure you continue to watch your surroundings. We get a lot of stolen vehicles come from when you're like at the gas station. When people go to pump their gas, they don't face, they face the opposite way. A lot of times the suspects jump in your car while you're looking at the meter to see how much money left, or how much gas you're getting. And then you leave your car running and they jump in your car. Or women, not just women, but I mean, you leave your purses in the car. We get a lot of those. But the biggest thing is the carjackings. If you see someone pulling up too close to you, drive off. Or if you see someone look suspicious, call 911, because most of the time they come in twos. One pulling up to distract you, one coming behind you with a weapon to try to steal your vehicle. And then they follow each other and they dump the cars and things like that. So I just wanted to make sure everybody is aware of your surroundings. Make sure when you're driving around, keep your doors locked, because carjackers, they'll come up on you, open your car door. Most of the time, most people leave their driver's side door unlocked sometimes, but they come, like say you're at a red light, they come right up to you at the red light, open your car door, pull you out, and then your car's taken, or you might get hurt, or you might be trying to fight them or something and you get ran over. I mean, you just don't know. I just want to keep your mind open on everything that's going on right now. But other than that, I'm open to any questions or any concerns that I can address. Or if I don't have the answer, I'll research it and get back with you.
Miss Matt,
No question?
anything from on Facebook Live? Mel? It seems like she's frozen. Okay. Yeah, she's frozen. Okay. Well, Corporal Ebony, we have your number. So if someone has a question, and we want to thank you for coming out tonight. Like you said, we have the finest in Division 4 and Division 5. And like you said, you all work together, and we thank you for coming out this evening.
Thank you for inviting me.
Yes, so you have a good evening, unless you want to stay around a couple of minutes to see if we get any questions, but
okay,
please,
I'll stay around a couple of minutes.
But I do want to say, because I didn't see his Corporal Polnack is on here, but everyone, please be mindful about leaving items in your car, because I attend numerous meetings, and that's the theme. Not that other crimes aren't happening, but the thing is you have to take things off the seats and make sure you lock your door. And as Corporal Ebony said, watch your surroundings. It's very important, because this is where we are right now. So
yeah, it's just so senseless, these crimes, and just like when we talked about, when you saw in the news, it got the gentleman that killed on I think that was Dunlap Street or whatever. He was like an Uber driver or something, some sort, you still kill the person. You kill the person when you already took their car. It's just sad. You're trying to do a good deed, and those type of things happen. I'm just saying, anything suspicious, if you have a gut feeling, call 911, anything. I mean, don't do it. Don't go in that store. You feel like this. I mean, just be aware of your surroundings. That's the biggest thing. Only good advice I can give you right now. That's all we can do is keep trying, to be safe and protect one another.
Yes, thank you so much. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
So, Vice President Harrison.
Yes, ma'am. All right, here we go. Membership. We love membership. Good evening, community. My name is Delonte Harrison, I'm Vice President, and we are looking for members. We need members and volunteers. You know, one of the great things about our membership is only $15 per household and $25 per business. It's great to join the community. It is so fulfilling to serve the community. We definitely need you to join us so we become strong and powerful. We are a great community. We want you guys come on and join us, help out, and get involved. We have committees that you can join. You can join the educational committee. You can adopt a role. We have so many committees, and we would love to have you guys come on board and be a part of our great community. We love to see you.
Oh, okay. Oh, thank you, BP Harrison. Mr. Williams wanted to also say that on Dr. Phil's show tomorrow, he is focusing on homelessness. And I know that's on CBS, and I believe he comes on around 4 p.m. And he said the former head of the Prince George's County Homeless Outreach is one of his guests. So if you all able, you can watch Dr. Phil tomorrow at 4 p.m. on CBS. Okay. Thank you. So next up we have Dr. M. We call him Dr. Howard. Dr. Howard is look, he's our pharmacist. If you all haven't been over to Allentown Discount Pharmacy to get your prescriptions in, you all need to get over there. You get that one-on-one service from Dr. Howard. So without further ado, Dr. Howard is going to give us some health tips to keep us going. You know, the weather getting ready to break. We got to be ready. So Dr. Howard.
Yes, good evening, Madam President and the whole Camp Springs CSCA Association. I want to thank you for the opportunity to come and share some health tips. Actually, I was thinking today, what should I share with the community? And I decided to come up with 3 different items that I think will be very helpful for all of us. The first thing I want to talk about is hemorrhoids. I've been having a lot of patients, especially from the age of 40 and up, having issues with hemorrhoids. And hemorrhoids are basically swollen veins in the anal canal. And when they get enlarged, they bleed, they itch, and they cause a lot of discomfort, especially pain. So we have a lot of patients who do not know why all of a sudden they're having a hard time. So I wanted to bring that as something that we can discuss and share with the community. So for the most part, my health tip on hemorrhoids is if you are over the age of 40, I want you to do me a favor. Stop using toilet tissues. All right. Exchange your toilet tissue for wipes, which may be soothing wipes or washcloths. See, those ones are more gentle for that area of our body. And also, if you currently suffer from hemorrhoids, make sure you drink a lot of water. When you're hydrated, it actually helps to shrink the hemorrhoids. Eat foods that are very rich in fibers. And one thing that a lot of people may not be aware of is when you go to the bathroom to use the toilet, don't sit too long on the toilet seat. We have a bad habit nowadays with everybody on their smartphones watching YouTube or their favorite shows while they are on the toilet seat. Those kind of things make the hemorrhoids a whole lot worse. So that's health tip number 1. Hemorrhoids, dish your toilet tissue, use baby wipes or washcloth, and drink enough water, take fiber, and don't sit too long on your toilet. The next thing I thought would be helpful is blood pressure. A lot of people have what we consider primary essential hypertension or high blood pressure. They come in different stages. So what can I do to make sure that I can take care of myself if I have blood pressure problems or I have a family history of hypertension? Well, the first thing I want to say may sound very sacrilegious, but it is true. We have to tell each other the truth, right? Lose a few extra pounds. Trust me, the less weight you carry, the healthier your blood pressure is going to be. And make sure you keep a watch on your waistline. Eating healthy is also going to be good. That means when I'm talking about eating healthy, I'm talking about reduce foods that are highly processed, no more McDonald's on a daily basis, no going to Subway every time you feel like you need to grab a bite. Foods that are very high in salt, you need to reduce them. So we find that it's very easy to stop at Wendy's, to stop at McDonald's and grab something real quick. But those things are actually not good for our blood pressure. So eat healthy, reduce your caffeine intake, reduce the amount of salt that you actually put into your food. Because you know, one thing, if you put salt in your water, in your mouth, or you put it in your water, it makes you thirsty. So it's the same thing. If there's a lot of salt in your food, it's going to allow the fluid buildup to lead to more of problems for you when you have blood pressure problems. Reduce alcohol intake. And if you currently smoke, please try to find a program for smoking cessation. The reason for that is not only does it directly elevate your blood pressure, it actually makes the cholesterol balance in your body worse. And one thing that people don't really know about smoking is that when you smoke, if you are pre-diabetic, it actually accelerates the rate of diabetes right for you. So if you're going to get diabetes in 3-4 years and you smoke, you might get diabetes in 2 to 3 months. So smoking is one big thing that we can do, and I'm grateful that I'm hearing about a lot of the programs that are coming with the hospitals and stuff like that. Maybe as time goes on, we'll find a way to partner with these organizations so we can provide some of these helpful information to our community. Also, another thing I want to talk about is reduce stress. How do I reduce stress in a stressful environment? Look at the gas prices and things going on. Well, one of the ways that I think we can reduce stress is by practicing an attitude of gratitude. So be thankful for everything people do for you. These kind of things actually allow you, when you do something nice for somebody, it actually is a stress reliever. Exercise a little bit. And one final point that we always forget about, learn to breathe. That sounds very interesting because I thought I was doing okay until I went to a cardiologist and they told me, you're not breathing properly. And I asked the question, what do you mean I'm not breathing properly? I'm okay, I do all the right things. But when we're younger, we actually breathe well. But as we grow older, we forget how to breathe. So learn good breathing techniques. Hold your breath, take a deep breath, hold it for 4 seconds and breathe out. It actually relieves a lot of stress. So practice an attitude of gratitude, reduce alcohol and salt intake, eat healthy, lose a few pounds, and exercise regularly. When we talk about exercise, don't be like Mr. Bailey going to the gym. No, I mean, wash dishes around the house. This is a month where we're celebrating women. Well, why don't all the guys just wash dishes for the rest of the month? Washing dishes, believe you me, is a form of exercise. Oh, you see, I have a lot of fans now. Yeah, I did that on purpose. Vacuum the house, throw away the trash. You know, for me, my wife doesn't throw the trash in my house. I throw the trash away myself. It's good exercise. And remember to walk. Keep moving, because if you're moving, you're gonna get better results, because if you don't use it, you lose it. We mostly are sedentary, we drive around and all that, but walk around your neighborhood. Take your wife on a walk once or twice a week. Walk around for like 30 minutes. It will help you relieve stress and thereby lowering your blood pressure. Well, the third thing I want to talk about is other helpful tips that I think that people may or may not be aware of. If you actually cook a lot in the house, most of us use canola oil and all kinds of oils, correct? Well, I wanted to know what is the best thing that we can do for ourselves. You see, anything that is not natural, we should not be consuming. I found out of all the oils that we actually use, extra virgin olive oil is actually the best for us. It's a vegetable oil. Yeah, I see that. It's a vegetable oil that is very healthy. It's one of the healthiest things that we can consume. It is healthy for the heart, and it has something called antioxidants. They are very, very powerful antioxidants that have anti-inflammatory properties in extra virgin olive oil. And what that basically means, you know how we see emails about Camp Spring cleanup of the community? Well, the antioxidants and all of these things, they act against what we call free radicals in our bloodstream. So they basically clean up all the junk in our arteries and veins. So community, let us make sure we change the cooking oil to extra virgin olive oil. And last thing I want to say is concerning eating healthy. A lot of people ask me, what do you mean when you're talking about eating healthy? I mean processed foods, anything like snack cakes, fast food, frozen meals, canned foods, chips, sodas. All of these things are very terrible for our overall well-being. Not only are they not healthy for our blood pressure and cholesterol, they actually affect our mental health. You know, we used to hear the word, you become what you eat. If you treat your body well, and if your mind is healthy, your body is healthy, everything will function properly for a long time. So 3 things on hemorrhoids, blood pressure, and general health tips. I don't know if anybody has any questions for me. Thank you for having me.
So do you all see our jewel that we have in our community? We have our own in-house pharmacist who has all kinds of credentials, so he can help you with a lot of things. Sometimes I just go into his pharmacist and he gives me insight on a lot of things. Now, one of them that he told you all about was the hemorrhoids. I was one of the ones that I got all these years I was having issues. He told me what to do and they're gone. So stop in and talk to Dr. Howard. He has a wealth of information, and bring the prescriptions over there, though. Thank you, Dr. Howard.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate you so much. So next we have is our Washington Suburban Sanitary Commission. Everyone knows them by WSSC. So in our community, they're getting ready to, pipes are getting ready to go into the ground on Allentown Road. So we said, hey, it's going to affect our community. So let's bring them out so they can give us some insight on how long, when they're going to start, how long, and what is the process. So that being said, I believe we have Mr. Billingsley, who is the customer advocate. And I think we have Mr. Allen, technical contract supervisor on here. I'm not sure if Mr. Kemp, who is the inspector, is also on the call. So I turn it over to WSSC. And we thank you for coming out tonight. Okay, so,
Did
okay. You can go ahead.
Steve, do you want to start? Somebody needs to unmute Steve.
Okay. I just saw
'Cause
him.
we're both here. Russell couldn't make it.
Okay.
Hello, everyone.
Hi.
It's good to see you all again. I know we've met in person in the past, and so soon I hope we can meet in person again someday. I think it's coming soon. So we understand you have some questions. We had some questions ahead of time that you were asking. Let me pull those up. One of the questions was, I was informed that WSSC is replacing pipes with zinc and iron. I know that the iron pipes rust. What damage does it do to the water? This particular contract is brand new pipe going in the ground. So wasn't there before. So, and there are actually two contracts. There's Old Branch Avenue water main replacement and Allentown Road water main replacement. They're gonna be going on simultaneously and will both take approximately 3 to 4 years. And then you had asked, what was the second question? Oh, the contractors. You had asked if the contractors were experts. These are large diameter pipes ranging from 20 inches to 42 inches in diameter. So you can imagine like a 4-foot pipe you could almost walk through. So a lot of the times, those contractors are even more qualified because they have to use larger diameter pipe to install there. So, and we qualify all of our contractors ahead of time. They have to have a certain amount of years experience before they can install pipes for us and go under contract with us. So yes, they are experts in what they do. And then let's see.
The third
Oh,
question, let me interrupt, Steve. The
Go
third
ahead, go ahead.
question was about the Westchester Estates on Allentown Road.
Yeah.
So that's part of the Allentown Road contract. And I reached out to Mike Dobbs just to get his insight. And there are a couple streets that they're going to be affected by it, but there's more than one ingress and egress, so they can get in and out of that neighborhood. I think it's Westchester, Coolridge, and I can't remember the other one he said. So he had already looked that up, and they'll be fine. They'll be able to get it in and out of the neighborhood without no problem.
And then you had asked, you had incidents where contractors cut the wrong pipes, such as water and gas in our area. They're supposed to, before they do any digging, they're supposed to call a miss utility at least 48 hours in advance, and the pipes are supposed to be marked. So there are instances where pipes are mismarked or they're not marked at all. So a lot of the times that's when other utilities are cut. It happens and it gets advertised, but it's not as frequent as it may seem. It's very volatile when it happens, but for the most part, the contractors we have are going to be, since this is a extensive project taking multiple years, they'll be using Miss Utility a lot. And there's also in the plans, we have a lot of engineering that went in ahead of time to locate all the adjacent utilities, since they're installing brand new main a lot of down both of these roads. And what was the other question here? The time frame. I'll let Tim tell you the time frame here.
Okay, so both of these contracts are slated for 3 years. They're long-term contracts because we're installing new water mains. So we're adding to the distribution system. It's going to, good way to put this. So we're adding to what we have in the ground, we're still going to use. what we're putting in the ground for these two contracts is going to provide redundancy in the system. So when we do have water main breaks, or if there is a water main break or a large water main break, you won't lose water, or we hope you don't lose water. How about that? Because that's everybody's worst nightmare, especially like Thanksgiving, Christmas. The holidays is when it always happens, and all of a sudden you have no water in the wintertime because the water main broke. Well, hopefully this is going to provide some redundancy to the system so we don't have those issues in the future. I wanted to touch on the one question where somebody asked about the cast iron, was it, I think, or iron?
Yeah,
So I saw the question and they said it's about zinc and iron. So what we're doing now, it's not new, but it's relatively new, is we're doing zinc coated ductile iron water mains. Basically what that is, it keeps the zinc coating on the ductile iron water mains, keeps the water main from degrading as fast. So we used to say that the water mains would last 100 years when they had cast iron, and it really didn't work out that way, even though that's what they wanted. But the zinc coated ductile iron keeps the corrosive soils from affecting the pipe. So you actually legit should get 100 years out of this pipe.
I know it was another question, because one of the concerns was like in front, like on Allentown Road, there's a 7-Eleven and there's some gas stations.
That's right, 7-Eleven right before Brinkley Road.
Yes.
I went to school right off of Brinkley Road. So
Oh, okay. You
it
went
was
to
back in the
Crossland?
80s, but still.
Oh, you talking about at Crossland? Went to Crossland?
Camp Springs Christian.
Oh, you went there? Okay. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, they were saying that when the WSSD board did some work there, we've continued to have flooding in that area. So they're very concerned about that occurring over there where the Westchester Estates, because that issue still is ongoing with the excessive water around where the 7-Eleven is. Like when we have these downpours of rain, they said it wasn't, it wasn't graded correctly. And so it's concerned, it's concerned about, with the grading, because we're still having issues over there where the 7-Eleven is. And they were just, concerned around their homes where if it's not graded correctly. So I guess like your inspectors, like with the inspectors, how does that work? Maybe I should ask that question to ensure that things are progressing correctly.
well, what it sounds like you're talking about is stormwater management, which is Prince George's County Department of Public Works and Transportation.
So that's different? Okay.
Yeah, so we wouldn't have anything to do with the flooding, but I have been asked that a lot, and climate change, more powerful storms, and a lot of that has caused even more flooding, saturated ground. So we do have some mitigation when we're doing our storm water main replacements for stormwater, but our impact is minimal because we're essentially trenching in the road, and when we backfill to grade. So it's not going to really impact whatever was existing. If there is flooding there, it will probably continue to occur. It's not something we take care of. We're the essentials, drinking water and wastewater. So, but I do get that question asked a lot, because especially lately in the past 4 or 5 years when we've had more violent storms and more frequent storms. But yes, we're just working mainly in the roadway within the right of way, and when we backfill the trench, it's to grade.
Thank you. It's a question in the chat. I guess someone wants more specific. The question is, what location on Allentown and Branch Avenue are the pipes located in the road or sidewalk? I guess they're asking about, because it's more so Allentown. I'll just give the question and you can respond. What location on Allentown and Branch Avenue are the pipes located in the road or sidewalks? How will this affect traffic?
Yeah, there's no way around the traffic. A lot of the, Tim will have to correct me on this, but I think I got a quick look at some of the plans on both contracts, and a lot of the new main is sort of in the center of the roadway in a lot of places, but we also have to dodge all the, if you can imagine a system of pipes already in the ground and having to work your way around all of the existing infrastructure that's underneath the surface. So, and most locations, the main is running sort of in the center of the roadway. So the traffic will probably be diverted on either side of it, but there's no way around it. It's gonna be during the day. If you can avoid that area, I would say avoid that area. There's gonna be traffic issues because you gotta figure the pipe is almost 4 feet in diameter. I mean, 4 feet. So yeah, you're gonna have traffic issues, but we let traffic usually divert around each side of it, or we'll have one way where flaggers will be on scene to let one side go and then the other.
Right. So I'll add to that, excuse me. On Allentown Road, there's not going to be any permanent lane closures. They're all going to be temporary lane closures. But I know a portion of Camp Springs butts up to Clinton on Old Branch Avenue. On Old Branch Avenue, there will be some permanent temporary lane closures. By permanent temporary mean, or temporary permanent. So they're going to be up to 50 days where the Old Branch Avenue will be closed with detours. But on Allentown Road, there shouldn't be any. Sorry.
Oh, that's okay. Okay. That's okay.
Nobody's dying. It's just my puppies. So yeah, so on Allentown Road, there's going to be temporary lane closures. Should be mostly during the day with flaggers, like Steve said.
Like a 9 to 5.
Actually, it's going to be 9 to 3:30 or 9 to 3.
Okay. Like a 9.
The Prince George's County Department of, when will the work begin? I just saw it.
Okay.
So the work is, I got you. So the work is slated to begin March 1st and March 3rd for both contracts, both at the same time. However, due to supply chain issues and issues with getting material for the jobs and how large these contracts are, they're probably not going to start till April or May.
Yeah, we're suffering some of the same things that you are experiencing in a lot of different, like you go in the grocery store and there's no Worcestershire sauce or something, or there's no yogurt, the whole yogurt aisle is gone, or all the meats are gone. We're experiencing the same thing with our piping material. So we have these time periods that we're telling you, but you also have to keep in mind we're experiencing some of the material shortages just like everyone else is right now. But I think the larger diameter, they have the pipes, so and it's 42 inches, and some of the smaller diameter pipe we're having trouble accessing right now. So the contracts might take a little bit longer because of that, but they should be within 3 to 4 years.
These are two of our capital improvement programs. So they're two of the largest contracts that we have right now to improve the system, to get basically, life sustaining water to the faucet. It's the best water ever.
Well, thank you. Does anyone, do you have anything on the Facebook Live? Nothing from Facebook Live? Does anyone else have any question? Because I want to thank you for coming out and providing the community with information on, what's going on and how our lives are going to be affected for the next, you said 3 to 4 years.
Yeah, it's going to be more traffic too, because this is brand new pipe going in the ground. There's not a lot of impact to shutdowns. There will be some where we'll have to shut down when we tie into side roads. But for the most part, this type of work is all brand new pipe going in the ground. So it's going to be more of a traffic impact than it will be of water shutdown impact.
Correct.
Look, there's any more question going once, going twice. But thank you, gentlemen, for coming out and sharing with the community.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much.
Anytime. And if you ever want us to come back and talk again, sure, let us know. And we also have financial assistance programs for people in need. Just reach out to me again and I can hook you up with the rest of my division to talk about financial assistance programs for anyone who might need it.
That's good to know. Thank you. We
You're
appreciate
welcome.
it.
Take care of yourself. Stay well.
You too. Y'all stay safe out here.
Thank you. Take care.
Well, guess who's here? We got Corporal Polnack. Hi, Corporal Polnack. Glad you can join us this evening. You want to do a report? I'm gonna unmute you. Oh, I guess okay.
There we go.
There
Can
you
you
go.
hear me? Can you hear me now?
Sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I can give you a crime. Sorry I'm late, but I got tied up on a call.
We understand. We understand.
All right. Well, I'm the community police officer for the Frank 1 beat on the Frank sector side for people that may not know me. The monthly crime report I have is going to be for February 1st through February 28th. And theft from autos, we only had one for that month, and it was in the 5200 block of Kinstand Drive. Breaking and enterings, we had one, and it was a commercial breaking and entering on the 5800 block of Allentown Way. It was like a food establishment. We had 0 robberies. Stolen vehicles, we had 2. One was the 6900 block of Allentown Road, and the driver left their key fob in the car, so somebody got in it, pushed the button, and drove off. The other one was the 7500 block of Commerce Lane, and don't know how that one got stolen. If they hot wired it, took a tow truck, but it was just gone. So actually, the crime in Frank 1 beat for the month wasn't too bad. That's all I've got.
Thank you, Corporal Polnack. You see how dedicated our officers are? He was doing something. He said, I gotta get to Camp Springs. We appreciate you. We thank you. And again, did you hear the thing? Lock your cars up, keep things off the seats, and look around.
Please. Makes our job a lot easier.
Yes. Thank you so much. I know you're busy. Have a good night.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye. Next, we have our State Highway Administration. With us, we have Mr. Justin Sosby. Mr. Sosby, do you have anyone with you? Is Mr. Barnes or Mr. Johnson with you? Or you solo tonight? Let me unmute.
Yeah, I have Mr. Johnson is with us. He's on the phone.
Okay, hi, Mr. Johnson. Oh, we gotta unmute him too. Where's Mr. That is Ernie Johnson, right? Or am I mixing my names up?
Yes, ma'am. It's Ernie Johnson.
Yeah, where is? Okay, I don't see his. Okay, I don't know which one his number. Uh-oh. Can we just, can we unmute everyone for a second so we can get Mr. Johnson and then we can mute, because I don't know which one his telephone number. Let's see, unmute all, let me see, can I do that?
I'm here.
Oh, okay.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Good evening. How are you?
We're doing fine, thank you. How are you doing this evening?
I'm wonderful this evening. How are you guys?
We're doing good. So we have our State Highway Administration out. I think we sent, did we send you, we sent one question. If you all have other questions, y'all can start putting them in the chat, but the first question was, I can't even remember. The question was, what was the question? Do you remember, Mr. Sosby?
Yes, it's about line striping issues on or in the 5500 block of Deer Pine Lane.
Okay.
And with that, so the line striping, the permanent line striping will be put in sometime in April. Typically with the line striping contracts that we have in place, they don't do any work in cold weather due to the standards of the product.
Okay.
They want to adhere to the road. So that's why it has taken so long, but it will be April when they come back and start their work again.
Okay, thank you. Well, I'll ask a question. So one of our residents was concerned about, because we have this distinction on Allentown Road. One side of Allentown Road seems to be the state, and then the other side is the county. And some of the concern is about the pavement of the road. Because I wish they could unmute themselves and really ask their question about it, because people have been, I've heard several people talk about the inconsistency of the pavement, like it's like patchwork versus just like just doing just to make everything even, just paving through the whole street versus just doing patchwork. Can you answer why do they do that versus just smoothing out the whole road? Because it's like they'll do one piece and then that's it. And then maybe, let's say a mile down the road, then they do another piece, things like that. Do you know why? Oh, they're muted.
You gonna answer me, Justin? Hello?
Okay, okay, there you go.
Hello?
You can't hear us?
I can hear you. I was muted
Yeah.
until you. So there's two different things kind of going on there. So the patches that you see in various locations going along the road are what's called deep patches. That occurs when there is a failure of what we call the sub base, which is the stone or the foundation that the road's actually laid on top of. In order to fix certain types of potholes or certain types of issues with the road, those type of patches have to be done. Now, typically those patches occur prior to like a next year paving project, which is where we would actually mill off or shave off 2 inches of the roadway and completely replace those 2 inches with new asphalt. In regards to where the county road matches the state road, and this is one of the very unique places where this actually occurs. All of our paving projects are done through capital federal funding. And with that being said, that capital funding does not match up to the county's capital funding or their paving program to replace roads. Coordinating that would be almost impossible due to the funding issues that occur for that reason. But once again, this is one of the only roads, and unfortunately it's in Camp Springs, that this is an issue on. So I can find out if the county and the state have ever talked about coordinating that process, but typically the county is going to get less money to do their local roads than we get, and they also have more local roads to pave with the limited funds that they have.
Thank you.
Hmm.
And
That's one thing. Calvin Ball, who is the county executive of Howard County, actually is introducing 2 bills, I think, in this next session to increase the amount of funding that all of the counties receive, because when the recession hit, they limited the funding that the county gets for their public infrastructure projects. That's never actually increased again since. So that's part of the problem with the county road get repaired as well.
do we have other questions? You have SHA on the line. I know I want to thank SHA because I have noticed, and I think you all also have noticed that like on the state roads where there are more cleanups that have been occurring. Haven't you all noticed when you're going down Branch Avenue? Haven't you noticed this, that they're coming out more often to do the cleaning? I've noticed that. Someone has their hand raised. Who is that? Oh, that's you, Mel?
Yes, okay. There is one question in the chat. It says, how does the state get requests to fill potholes on the part of Allentown Road that you handle?
Okay, we gotta unmute. They're muted again.
There we go. We either get phone calls from citizens in the area directly to the maintenance shop, or what we would prefer, and this is the correct way to get us the concerns, would we go to our customer care management system through the State Highway Administration's website, and they can enter a service request through that. It comes with a tracking number, and that goes directly to the shop, which then they in turn make the repairs and then close out your ticket and make comments on the service request ticket. That way it can be tracked. You can track it, or whoever enters it can track it, as well as for an internal customer service and for us to make sure that we're doing the right thing. We track it as well, especially if there's a concern, if they close the ticket out and the customer comes back and says that the repair was never made. The third way is that our crews in their travels, if they do see potholes or a series of potholes or something that immediately needs to be addressed, they will also address it as they come upon it.
Okay, thank you for that. Any other question? Now we got SHA on here. Any other questions? Because we're thankful that they come out and they want to work with us. They have partnered with us. So if any other concerns, we need to post the questions in the chat or raise your hand to get responses. No one else has any question? Well, we thank you for coming out, and we are looking forward to continue our partnership with you. We appreciate all the work that you are doing, you continue to do. And I know I guess we're gonna have another meeting to discuss because like we're doing we started our monthly cleanup. As everyone recalls, we have to cancel this March one because we're having inclement weather. So we're gonna start in April, I believe it's April the 9th. And at some point, SHA is gonna come out and they're going to help us because, as you all know, like with the ramps, it's like people just throw things out and they're willing to come in and help us to get these ramps clean and get the street blocked so we can be safe and get those ramps clean. So thank you. We appreciate that. Okay. So you all have it. Since they don't have any other questions, you all have a good evening, gentlemen. Thank you for coming out.
Thank you.
Now, I think this is the fastest Camp Spring meeting that we've had. But we do have announcements, and VP Harrison is going to give us our announcements.
All right, everyone, we have a few announcements. I'm gonna try to go through them as quick as we can because we have a lot.
Take your time, so because you're gonna have to give people emails. So
yes. So the first thing I want to say is I want to show the power of the community. How High Court tossed out the council redistricting map, and that was because of the power of the people. We complained, we wrote letters, and we did everything that we could as a community, as one, and told the county we would not accept their decision against what we voted for and paid for, actually. So we're really very happy about that. And that's another thing about volunteer. We guys need you here to join us so your voices can be heard and we can get things done. All right, so the county has a new 311 system that's easy to use. The web portal will be better to enable tracking of your requests. The service request may be submitted by dialing 311. If you're inside the county, you can dial 301-883-4748. And you can also visit it online at www.pgc311.com. That should be able to get you the 311 app, and you can also get that from Apple and Google's. You have Apple and you have the Google for your phone and Android. Also, we have on here volunteers. It says Prince George's County Executive Angela Alsobrooks invites you to submit your resume and cover letter to be considered for an appointment to serve on a commission for animal control and the taxi board. You can also get that information if you would like to be considered. Please forward your letter and your letter and your resume to PGC board's vacancy at co.pg.md.us. That's no later than March the 15th. You can find more information if you need at www.princegeorgesmd.gov. All right, and we have Prince George's County Homeowners Provision Program is PGHOPP. The HOPP is a program aimed at identifying and addressing the repairing of critical health, safety, and accessibility related to your home. You can also get that information at www.habitatmm.org, and that's how you can get that information. We also have Meals for Seniors. You know, Prince George's County, the Senior Nutrition Program offers a free meal delivery service to seniors ages 60 and older who are homebound. The meals include perishable items such as bread, milk, microwavable foods that are dropped off every other Thursday. This is no income is required, and you can call the county at 301-265-8475. All right, and then we have let's see, we have a few things here, a few more things. We have the Drive With Us. It's a register now to a virtual bus drive fair recruitment event. I think it's for the school board. You can visit that at pgcps.org. And I think I hope I didn't miss anything. Let's see.
But I know that's it. I was just going to say, I know we said a lot, and I know some people's eyes probably glazed over.
Right.
We will get these on our website.
Yes.
So that you can, get the information that you need. Because did you mention the one about the like they have this the one about the jobs for the youth?
I did, but I looked at that. I have no information. I have.
We'll get that. We'll make sure, because they're getting ready to start up the jobs for the youth. So we'll make sure we get this information on our website.
Prince George's County Summer Youth Employment Program. I just don't have the link to give out.
Okay, okay, we'll do that. So I hear that in our audience I believe on our Facebook Live, we got Ms. Liz Chambers. She represents Senator Obie Patterson and Delegate Veronica Turner. Thank you for coming out to our meeting. We also have Mr. Ryan Neeling, who's here on behalf of Rashawn Baker, who's running for governor. Did I miss anyone else? I don't want to miss anyone. Is it anyone else that I need to mention? Well, guess what? We're giving you back, what is that, 40 minutes. We did this in record time. So we want to say, stay safe, love one another, be kind to one another. And I hope if you all had pen and paper that you took heed to the information that Dr. Howard provided us, because, you know, with these times, people have been under a lot of stress, and we do need to take better care of ourselves. We have to eat better. We have to, because a lot of time we look out for others before we look out for ourselves. Now, if you looking out for others and not taking care of yourself, then it comes a time that they're going to be lost. Because think about when you're on the airplane, what did they tell you to do? Put your mask on first, because if you don't have yours on first, you can't help your dependent or whoever. So let's stay safe. Let's be thankful, and let's be kind to one another. Oh, Mr. Ryan, you have a question? Can we unmute him?
Hi, can you all hear me?
Yes.
Hi, I just want to take a second, first of all, to thank you, President Taylor, for allowing me to join everyone tonight, and everyone in the meeting for allowing me to join you. I just wanted to introduce myself real quick. Like you said, I'm the volunteer coordinator for Mr. Baker's campaign as he runs for governor. And I just wanted, like I said, to introduce myself and let you know what I'm doing here tonight. So Mr. Baker asked me as part of our team to basically sit in on some of these civic association and community meetings to be able to hear the voices of our residents, to be able to see what we can work on, what we can do to help. Because as a campaign that's running as a grassroots campaign and trying to hear the voices of our residents, because that's the biggest drive and the biggest motivator for us. We actually like to be able to come to these meetings and be able to hear what we can do to help Marylanders and what we need to work on once we get into office. So I appreciate everyone allowing me to be here tonight to be able to do that, so that I can so that we can actually be able to say, what, here's what we know we've done well, but we still have a lot to work on, and here's what we do want to work on. So I appreciate that, and that's something that we definitely take very seriously, and that we plan on working on all of these things and being able to kind of see where we're at and compare that to where we want to go. And that's something that we don't take lightly. We want to be able to say, we're listening to everything that we can do and trying to focus on that. So, if you have any questions, or like I said, I'm a volunteer coordinator. So if any of you support Mr. Baker and want to get involved with our campaign, I'm going to put my contact information in the chat, so that, like I said, whether it's wanting to get involved with the campaign, or you just have questions about, Mr. Baker and his platform, or questions about, the race in general, because we've got the primary coming up pretty soon, on June 28th. Early voting starts on June 16th. If you're trying to vote early, you should be able to get information on that towards the end of May. that's something where any concern that you have, any opportunity to volunteer, any question that you have on, the race, then you can reach out to me on the information that I just put in the chat. And again, I just, I would like to thank everyone for allowing me to be here, and, feel free to reach out.
Thank you so much. We appreciate it. So his information is in the chat. And if you all didn't get it, I did write it down. So thank you. And someone wants, okay. And if you need to, if you want to become a member of the Camp Springs Civic Association, you can go to www.campspringsca.org and go under membership. So everyone, you all have a good night. You all stay safe.